So today I have with me Vicky, aka Route to Previve on Instagram, and we are going to be talking about the process of having a mastectomy when you have children. So for me, I had my operation before I had children, so I have no idea what recovery is like with little ones. So talk to me through the process, and how did you know that it was the right time to have your operation?
Well, I had already postponed one operation. Jack was probably just under 2, and I felt that I probably couldn't give my body the time it needed to recover. Possibly also I wasn't quite mentally ready. Maybe used him as a little bit of an excuse.
Were you worried that you wouldn't recover as well because you'd be lifting?
Yeah, he still needed lifting throughout the bath, lifting out, you know, and I couldn't explain it to him why I wouldn't be able to pick him up. So I think that, yeah, I just felt that maybe I wasn't quite ready. That would have been, yeah, sort of a couple of years ago.
Okay, so how old were they? You've got 2 kids.
I do, yeah. Holly was 7 at the time, she's just turned 8, and Jack was 4, he'll be 5 next month.
Okay, and how do you explain that to young children, that mummy's going to have her boobies removed? Did you just say that?
I was pretty much,
Yeah.
I was as honest as I possibly could be with them, obviously without scaring them. I think I worded it was, mummy needs to get new boobies. The ones she's got might make her really poorly one day.
Yeah, and they
And
understood.
I think they pretty much just, yeah, rolled with it. They asked some questions. What your new one's going to be made of? Will it hurt? That's what they were more concerned about, the actual operation and how that was going to happen. Jack asked if they were going to put my old boobs in the bin.
Did they?
Perfect. So probably some sort of bin.
Where are they?
Yeah, he was pretty confused when I came home with my boob cast. He thought that I was bringing my actual old boobs home.
They are. They are the old boobs. Right. And then, so when you get home from hospital, how did they react? Because it must be really hard seeing your mum stiff, the dinosaur stage.
Yeah, we spoke about it as much as I possibly could pre-op. Sort of explained to them that I wouldn't be able to do anything, even to get them a squash or anything like that. I think their main concern was that Daddy was in charge of the cooking and Daddy can't cook.
Did you pre-cook?
My mum brought round loads of food because I think she was also worried what we were all going to eat.
Yeah, I met a woman who did her whole Christmas dinner before, like a month before, and froze it all because of her husband not being able to cook.
Yeah, I think I just sort of spoke to them as much as I possibly could to prepare them.
So how old was your little one at that stage?
He was 4.
Right. So how would you feel then if he was younger? Because I know a lot of women are having the operation, they might have newborn babies, maybe 6 months old, you know, all sorts of ages. How do you think that would have impacted him? Because he wouldn't have been able to understand it.
I think, do you know what, I think postponing my op for my mental health was a really, really bad decision. Having that hanging over me for a couple of extra years, it was really, really tough. But then I think we were more prepared as a family going into it now. I felt better that I could explain it to the children. But I don't think there's ever a right or wrong time to do something like that. You've just got to do what feels right for you and your family. I think it's a really tough call to make.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And you don't know what the anxiety feels like waiting for the op and it being pushed back and all of that stuff. So it's a balance, really. But I guess for women watching this who are saying, I'm not going to do it because my kids are too young, what advice would you give them? I
would say accept the help that's on offer. I think as mothers we can be really, really bad at accepting help. I could have done it when Jack was younger if I had just accepted all the help that was on offer to me.
Mum guilt, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
whatever you do in that situation, you have mum guilt. You've done it too early, you've done it too late. Like, there's so much mum guilt.
No, definitely. I think, you know, let your friend do the school run. Ask your neighbour to bring you some milk home. Give yourself the time that you need to recover properly. And just accept the help that's on offer. People want to help you.
They do. They really do. Let's talk about cuddling the children.
That was definitely one of my biggest worries pre-op. Jack's a really, really cuddly mummy's boy. So we just practiced lots and lots of side cuddles before, just so he understood that we would still be able to cuddle, but it would just be a bit different. And he was great. He was so gentle. He was so understanding. But yeah, it was probably about 6 weeks until I could properly pick them up and squeeze them.
How
they're quite big.
Feel now? We've both had the same op, so we've got, we've got the same boobs. How does it feel hugging them with implants under your skin?
Sometimes I have to get him to move. It can be, obviously before
Yeah.
your boob would just squidge around them. Sometimes, yeah, I'm like, oh no, Jack, don't lie there, that hurts.
Yeah, you
But-
have to reposition,
Yeah.
and they're just a bit uncomfortable, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But not as bad. I mean, I haven't been hugging children, but hugging adults, like, it's not as bad. I thought it'd be really painful and hard to hug people. It doesn't actually
No,
feel
I think
that
it's more
different.
just like if he's leaning his head on me,
Yeah.
that sort of can be a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, actually cuddling, I
Yeah.
don't think it makes.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else? So, like, any other things you were worried about, or any other advice you would like to give women who are watching this about the whole process of having kids and recovering from mastectomy?
Just that obviously it depends on, you know, their age, but if you can talk to them, be as open as you can with them, sort of prepare them so when you do come home, they're not shocked that you're sort of led on the sofa and can't do anything. It just
Yeah.
sort of, that's.
Are there any books like that, like Mummy Goes to Hospital, or like there's? I'm sure there's resources.
Possibly. I also spoke to preschool and school just to warn them sort of the week leading up in case their behaviour had become any differently. And I know one of the pastoral care workers at Holly School took some time to talk to her, and one of the ladies at Jack's preschool has also had a mastectomy. So she spoke to Jack about that,
pretty
which I thought
amazing.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
She took the time to sort of talk to him. Well, I've had, you know, the same as what Mummy's going to have. And I
Yeah.
think that's just that other people reassuring them as well.
And kind of making it a normal thing to be able to talk about, because
Yeah.
there's so much around this that it's still kind of a bit taboo talking about boobs and, you know, having mastectomies, whereas
Yeah.
if we talk to children about it, then it just becomes a bit more normal.
Yeah, the kids now, they sort of laugh every time I get posts. They're like, oh, Mummy, have you got more booby post? Because I'm constantly getting something with boobs on it. It's sort of become a bit of a running joke in the house now. Mummy's obsessed with boobs.
Yeah, we lose our boobs and we become obsessed with them, don't
Yeah.
we? So much merchandise of boobs around the house. A huge thing about BRCA is that it runs in families and it's an inherited gene. So have you already thought about that with your children? Is it something that's on your mind, or do you just kind of, they're not old enough yet, you just push it to the back of your mind?
I think it's always sort of something that you think about, but just seeing how much things have come on testing-wise already, obviously I'm hopeful that if it does come down to, you know, Holly having the gene, that her options would be very different. But also being so open with her and her watching me go through it, hopefully it will sort of make it easier for her.
Yeah.
Should she have to go through it, she could, you know, would have me to talk to, and she said, well, Mummy's done it. You know, I can do it.
That's so true, because I think a lot of mums are tested and they go through the whole anxiety with their children watching, but having someone like you who is so kind of inspired and empowered by it all, it's all okay at the end. I think the anxiety of BRCA is always worse than the reality of it. Like, we are all okay, we've had our boobs removed and we're still fine. So I guess it makes it a little bit easier if you know from a young age and you've seen your parents go through it. Whereas if your parents get diagnosed when you're a bit older, then you're going through that anxiety with them.
Yeah.
So it's quite a positive thing, really.
Yeah, I hope so. And as I say, you know, hopefully things are very different, and Holly wouldn't have to make the decisions that we've had to make.
No. Awesome.
Fingers crossed for more testing.
Yes, definitely. So any final words of wisdom?
I think the main one would just be to accept the help that's on offer. Give yourself the time that you need to recover. Don't get the mum guilt. It's okay if you're not getting up and doing things and playing with them. Let everyone else sort of help you.
Because then in the long run, you
It's gonna be
recover
better.
quicker.
Yeah,
for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.